It's that time. Welcome to another episode of Little Talks, your weekly dose of marketing news and insights from Littlefield Agency.
We are back.
Minor technical difficulties.
We've been at meetings since about 8:15 this morning. It's 1:35 on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because yesterday our boy Mike was in office, which was awesome.
Mike from Grasshopper.
Brandon was at Ditch Witch all day.
Yep.
On a shoot.
Yep.
So he wasn't here. We actually wanted to have Mike on the podcast. He will be on next time he's down here in September.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We talked about it yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are pumped to have him back on. You guys had he got here at 8:30, which means Mike was on the road at
pretty early.
5:45, like 6 o'clock his time.
Yeah, he's a morning guy.
And so he gets here at 8:30.
Yep.
They work through lunch, bring lunch in, and he leaves around 2:30, 2:45 because he had a commitment at school orientation to be back to.
Yeah,
this guy's a man on a mission.
Yeah, those drives back and forth to Moundridge are long.
Yeah, and he's in Wichita. So that's
okay.
Nice.
A little bit better.
But still, it's a long
drive.
Yeah.
And but you can't replace the time in person.
And I heard it was a great day.
Yeah.
And you know what? I heard it was a great day because I wasn't invited to the meeting.
You got to have lunch with us.
Yeah. It was great. Actually, lunch was just kind of okay.
That's what. Yeah, the reviews.
I won't name names.
The reviews were mixed.
Yeah, the reviews. Mike and I didn't have.
Yeah.
But yeah, story for another time.
Yeah. But we had a good, yes, it was a very productive meeting. That's the second time in 2 weeks we've had Mike down, and I think he's coming back in two more.
You guys are busting it. I got to be in the last meeting, which was nice.
There's a lot going on with Grasshopper Mower right now.
Yeah. So
all good stuff.
Mike, kudos, man. You are busting it, and it is very apparent, and it was a great day.
Yeah.
Also, that I wasn't aware of until you told me.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't invited.
That was Chelsea controls the invites, not me. What else? So
we've got Katie Kite's birthday was on Sunday. Happy birthday, Katie. Birthday.
Brandon, insert happy birthday music here.
All right. And then Julie Evans, Brandon, insert some fun celebratory music. Yep. Julie Evans is celebrating her 4th work anniversary at the agency this Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make her come into the office on Saturday.
When you said you celebrated...
Just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm delirious.
That would be a weird requirement.
But I'm in a meeting state of mind. And then we have huge news.
Oh, no. Hang on.
What's the matter?
He touched something.
Why you touched my mic?
Because
I didn't touch anything.
Can you hear the hum, Brandon? You can't? Okay, maybe
I don't hear anything.
Sorry.
You're in your head. You're nuts. Don't you touch my mic.
This one's off to a weird start.
So anyway, we have huge news. We've officially signed a 5-year extension on our lease. We have 2 years left, so we are here until 2030. And what does that mean? We are actually doing some major renovations to the north and west side of our building. Yeah. We will be incorporating, drum roll please.
Brandon, insert drum roll here.
A really, really cool podcast studio. And it's going to be amazing. Green screen, storage for Brandon. So it's kind of a video photo podcast studio. We will have the northeast corner where David Littlefield's office has historically been. Will turn into a lounge, kind of a speakeasy, cool vibe.
No word on cigars, though, right?
I don't think we can do cigars. And if our landlord's listening, we will not do cigars. Don't you worry. There's fires in here.
There's a way.
We're adding a couple conference rooms. Anyway, we will, of course, showcase it. Construction should start here in the next couple of months. We are hoping that it is expedited, but really cool. I had more people just come in after to my office, feedback-wise, saying this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, we had walked the agency around this morning and gave them a tour of what's going to happen. And by the way, if you're watching this, we're back in the original podcast room. And it's probably one of the last times you're going to see us in this podcast room.
It's maybe we do an Ode to podcast before our new podcast room's built.
Possibly.
But this room sucks. For a studio.
When we left it a few months ago, I thought, oh man, I'm going to miss it. I like the setup in there.
I love being out and about.
Boy, I liked the platform.
Yeah.
I liked the standing table. Yeah. I liked the diner. Is that what we call it?
Kitchen. Right, Brandon?
Well, the diner's in there, though. But anyhow, like we moved around, and I liked those spaces. We came back in here today, and I thought, okay, be return home. It's not been great.
No.
I haven't enjoyed it. We had technical difficulties. We had to restart.
Yeah, and then we've got 2 o'clock meeting. What time is it right now?
We got 20 minutes.
Okay, we're
but
good. We're not
anyhow,
gonna
so
rush.
this is probably it for us in this room. It's been a nice studio to kick things off, but I'm really looking forward to the build out and things to come.
So pumped.
Next year, early next year.
So freaking pumped.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for the sake of just immediacy, and we have 2:00 meetings, we have one topic today.
Yeah, just one topic.
And you should round this out for us, Rube, because it's actually kind of cool and interesting and a good ode to the internet.
Yeah, this one is a shout out to Sue at FreeWave, one of our clients.
Sue, hey.
Sue, if you're listening, this one's for you. We talk a lot. She sends over quite a bit, as do you.
Sue's a smart lady.
Sue's a very smart lady.
Really,
Kendi, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's been a lot of discussion this summer about bots and bots infiltrating your forms. Specifically for us, our HubSpot forms, right?
You know what gets under my skin? Bots.
It's well documented.
God,
so
it drives me nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of spam content that comes through, and there's some filters and things that can grab it. And generally, you know it when you see it because it's pretty obvious. But if you're a marketer and you're trying to build a CRM or a database of folks that are real, bots are a giant pain in the rear. So
100%.
This is a topic we actually saw on The Hustle. If you don't sign up for The Hustle, highly recommend it. Great morning newsletter you get.
It's my daily read.
Yeah, I get 4 or 5. Sometimes I'll delete the others. I always read The Hustle, though.
Yeah.
So The Hustle had one about CAPTCHAs now in the age of AI, and I thought this aligned a lot with things that we've seen and been talking about, both with Sue and internally, in terms of how do we stop the bots from getting through our forms. And you would think in the old days, a CAPTCHA, what's CAPTCHA stand for, Sam?
So that's the thing. I always thought, just from my perspective, like, hey, we're going to capture you
that's what
as
I thought
a
too.
lead. That's what I thought.
No, it's way worse.
No, it is a CAPTCHA, CAPTCHA, completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. So they came up with CAPTCHA.
They came up with the CAPTCHA, and it's that little thing that's...
But to tell computers and humans apart is the big
sometimes you may do...
and
CAPTCHA is now generically used. I believe it's a specific type of filter or bot filter, but they show up a lot of different ways where you have a puzzle piece you drag across, or you pick all the stoplights in a photo, or you do a math problem, or sometimes
which one is not a dog?
Which one's not a dog?
Yeah.
So we're trying to fool the robots. Mm-hmm. Obviously, in the year of AI, the robots are getting a lot smarter. So anyhow, we thought we would cover this topic today, just discuss it. And from The Hustle, it's gotten increasingly harder and weirder to prove you're not a robot. And they point out that that's because AI trained the capabilities of CAPTCHAs a long time ago. So they actually kind of had a head start on this.
There's a stat in here. By 2014, Google's AI could solve text CAPTCHAs 99.8% of the time, while humans could only do it 33% of the time. What?
You're trying to protect the humans. This CAPTCHA stuff and this bot problem has been around a long while. And I thought this was also interesting. In 2000, Louis Von Ahn, now the co-founder and CEO of Duolingo, was inspired by Yahoo's problem with spammers that were using bots to sign up for millions of free accounts. So he and another guy named Manuel Bloom invented the completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart, which we actually initially thought was how they came around with CAPTCHA, but it's not really the same. It's evolved. So this is, to determine the difference. It was the thing that distorted numbers and letters. So that's the other one you see sometimes. Blurred, almost impossible to read if they shove a 1 and an L and, an I next to each other. It's kind of blurred, wavy things because the robots don't have eyes. They can't see, and they can't really scan that. Well, they've gotten better, and they can scan those things. They're getting really, really good at it. In fact, optical character recognition, also known as OCR, which helps digitize text, taught robots to read that wonky text.
The kind of like the 9-8.
Yeah, so you're solving one problem. You use your phone and you take a photo of a podcast script or some other document, and it scans that and transcribes it into text. That's useful in that situation. When you take that technology, though, and say, hey, I'd like you to also get past these CAPTCHAs or filters or things, then it's not so great. So the more technology advances and the more AI is involved, the smarter it's been getting, and that's what's going on here. So CAPTCHAs have had to try to get weirder over time. Discord users noticed that CAPTCHA is full of AI-generated weirdo objects asking them to identify stuff that isn't real. It'll ask them there's something called a snail yo-yo called a Yoko. that, like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Identify the Yoko on here? Is it a Beatles CAPTCHA? Like, what's
Beatles.
going on here?
That's exactly right.
So, like, anyhow, the point is, this is a problem that's not likely to be solved anytime soon. You can do the best you can do with CAPTCHAs and honeypots and bot filters based off of domains and unusual naming, but I think even that is starting to get a little bit less obvious. AI is getting really good at this. This is an ongoing problem. So, Sue, for you, I just wanted to say you're not alone.
Not alone.
We deal with this here as well.
And
for our
we
own
know a lot
efforts.
of B2B prospects that I talk to don't even have CAPTCHA forms integrated on their site. It's.
There's times where you wonder why it's even worth it because they plow right through it.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things we have noticed that Chris Kaiser,
shout out to my boy Chris.
yeah, our analytics and media guy, figured out. When you have bots coming into your forms, it's usually because it's not that the form just attracts them. There's traffic being sent there. The bots are picking up and aware of that form or that page for some reason. So he was noticing on
paid media.
As paid, yeah. Often the case, a new campaign or a new social channel or something like this, some listing will be a flag for them. But Chris noticed on some campaigns and ran some testing on this, and so far the results are pretty good. He noticed that on a campaign where you're using Google's extended network of sites, the ones that aren't necessarily Google, but they kind of partner with some other folks to get your ads out there. He turned that off. He turned that option off for us to see if it slowed down the bots. And guess what? It did. So, I've
had 0 bots in a week.
It's gotten a lot better. So,
and it has really been amazing.
Sometimes, anyhow, the problem isn't necessarily directly with your form. I mean, put those CAPTCHAs on there and protect your form by all means. But take a look at where new traffic may be coming from. Has something changed in terms of how you're bringing people to that form? And if so, that's probably where the spout got turned on and the water's rolling.
That's the nice thing, too, to your point about CRM and then integrated with paid media. There are a lot of consistencies there in the sense of, like, how are we making sure? Because, and I'll be completely honest, not throwing any other agencies under the bus, but they will report on metrics that look really nice, but it's like, are you delivering qualified leads? That's what it comes down to.
That's the end. And when you are in a CRM system, and like I said, oh my gosh, I'm getting a hum. Can you hear the hum? Brandon says yes.
I'm good.
Now he doesn't. Okay. I'll just hold this cable like this, Brandon. That cool?
No more pounding the table.
What a last podcast in this room. Anyhow, when you have a CRM and you're intimately involved with every lead that comes through, it can be frustrating. I get it. We have infamously also have a whole Slack channel dedicated to this here at the agency. Yeah. So
that's when Sam Littlefield gets heated. It's
frustrating. I'm afraid to say it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But anyhow, I just want everyone to kind of hear, it is a problem. It is an ongoing issue. It's actually been an issue for a lot longer than just the last year. I think this last year of AI has just amplified it and made it even crazier. And there was one other kind of cool thing.
Yeah, I love this fun fact. Go ahead.
This is a possible hope for the future. The Hustle article said, the I am not a robot button. So sometimes with these CAPTCHAs, it's just as simple as saying you're not a robot, and you click a button. And everyone kind of laughs at that and says, yeah, I'm sure a robot would not be fooled by this. I didn't really know how these worked. Apparently, the I'm not a robot button uses behavior leading up to the clicking of that button. It looks at your browser history, mouse movement, things like that to gauge your humanity.
I had no idea.
So a bot wouldn't have the same kind of interests or browsing activity or mouse movement. I mean, yet. This is, I guess, the next thing for AI to work on. But that's that kind of behavior and leading up to that moment where you're not a bot and quickly reviewing that and determining whether you match bot symptoms or patterns is kind of interesting. It said the future of tech could build on that to create a state of constant surveillance, which constant surveillance makes everybody feel crazy.
Of course,
but
goes on edge.
Yeah, trust me, you're already being surveilled on the internet. But using that to determine your humanity could be a good thing. It says ultimately, though, bots are getting smarter. CAPTCHAs will always be lucky to be one step ahead. So, an ongoing battle for sure, but one that we're all in together.
Yeah. So, Sue, you're not alone. It's something that we think about all the time.
We've talked about this with Mike before too. Bots.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
And if it's hitting you, it's probably happening in a bit of a wave, and it probably does feel pretty overwhelming. Identify where your new traffic's come from, and do some tests there to see if you can turn it off.
And if you have questions, email us. Seriously,
we're happy to help you.
This is very much a topic of conversation on the regular over here at the agency.
Yeah, there's a few other tricks. We don't want to say them out loud because the bots could be transcribing this podcast and learning from our
100%
our ideas here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are, dang it, we're so sorry, guys.
Oh, man, we just blew it.
It's all good. Okay, so we're back at it next week at our normal time.
Yeah.
Not in this studio.
No, normal time. I hope.
But not in the new studio. We'll be out and about. Probably platform. Does that sound good, Brandon?
Brandon says no.
Brandon says no. Okay, no platform. You will find us somewhere in the agency.
Are you shooting next Wednesday? No.
Shoot. Brandon's in Ohio next week.
All week?
For a shoot. Mm-hmm.
So we may not have a podcast next week.
We'll get creative. Okay, stay tuned. That's a good cliffhanger.
Oh no, I'm the producer again. I'm sorry ahead of time.
Okay, dude. We got it 2:00, so we gotta go.
Let's bounce.
Have a wonderful week. We will catch you potentially next week.
We'll see. Adios.
Okay, bye-bye. Brenda, take it away.
And that's a wrap. We hope you've enjoyed our little chat and heard something to help grow your own marketing strategies. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.